Tell me the truth. Who is that boy?
Mother, his name is Emeka. I love him.
Have you lost your mind? You are the chief's daughter. Obinna and uncle has been waiting for you since childhood.
Mother, I cannot marry a man I do not love.
By morning, Chief Okafor had heard everything. He summoned Ada immediately. His voice was cold and final.
I hear you brought a boy from school. End whatever you have with that boy. You have finished school now. It is time to prepare for your marriage to Obinna Nwankwo.
Ada said nothing. But that night, something strange happened. She collapsed. At first, they thought it was stress. But the days passed, and Ada only grew weaker. She refused food. She barely spoke. The village nurse came. Nothing worked. Finally, one afternoon, her mother sat beside her bed and asked softly,
What is wrong with you?
I cannot live without Emeka. If you force me to marry Obinna, I would die.
That was when her mother understood. This was not sickness of the body. It was sickness of the heart. Now, Chief Okafor faced an impossible choice. Break the sacred promise to the Nwankwo family, or lose his only daughter forever. But the real storm had not yet begun, because the news had already reached Obinna. And by sunrise the next morning, he was coming to the chief's compound. Not as a visitor, but as the man who believed Ada already belonged to him.
Ada was standing beneath the mango tree in the compound when Obinna entered. For a moment, they both stood in silence. They had known each other since childhood, but they had never truly spoken about their future. Obinna smiled politely.
Ada, it has been many years.
Yes, Obinna. Obinna, why would you allow our families to decide who you must marry? Do you not want to choose the woman you love?
Ada, I did not question it because over the years I came to love you. You are intelligent, you carry yourself with dignity, and I believe we could build a strong life together.
But I do not love you, Obinna. I'm sorry, but my heart belongs to someone else.
In the days that followed, Obinna barely left his room. The proud young man the village admired had become quiet. He replayed the moment again and again in his mind. Her words echoed in his head. I do not love you. For the first time in his life, Obinna felt rejected, not because of money, not because of status, but because someone else held her heart. One evening, his closest friend Chike came to visit him. They sat outside under the moonlight. For a long time, neither of them spoke. Then Chike finally asked, Is it true? Obinna nodded slowly. She said she loves another man. Chike sighed. Then he said something Obinna did not expect. My friend, perhaps you should let her go. Obinna looked at him in surprise. Let her go? Chike leaned forward. Obinna, forcing someone who does not love you into marriage will only destroy both of you. The words hung heavily in the air. Chike continued. You deserve a woman who will look at you the way she looks at that other man. Obinna stared into the darkness. For the first time, he began to wonder if the elders had been wrong, if tradition had been wrong, if love could not be commanded by wealth or promises.
That night, Obinna made a decision, one that could shake the entire village.
At the center of the gathering stood only two people, Ada and Obinna. One of the oldest elders finally spoke, Obinna Nwankwo. Ada Okafor, you both know why we are here. He looked from one to the other. Years ago, your families agreed that you would be husband and wife. The crowd murmured softly. The elder continued, Today we ask you both to confirm your readiness for the marriage ceremony. Silence fell over the gathering. Every eye turned towards Obinna.
Obinna stepped forward slowly. His voice was calm, respectful, but firm. Great elders of our village, I thank you for the honor my family has been given. He paused. Then he said the words nobody expected. but I cannot marry Ada. A wave of shock spread through the crowd. The elder raised his hand for silence. Explain yourself, young man. Obinna took a deep breath. A marriage without love will become a prison. He glanced briefly at Ada. She deserves happiness. And so do I. He lowered his head respectfully. I release her from this promise. The elders turned to Ada. Daughter of Okafo, what do you say? Ada stepped forward. Her voice trembled slightly, but her words were clear. Great elders, I respect the promise made by our families, but my heart cannot obey what it does not feel. She looked toward the crowd, then back at the elders. I do not wish to marry Obinna. I ask that the marriage preparations be cancelled. The entire gathering fell silent, because no one could remember a time when he promised like this had ever been broken. The elders whispered among themselves. Long, serious, careful discussion. Then finally, the oldest elder stood. His voice carried across the crowd. In life, traditions guide us, but wisdom reminds us that forcing two hearts together creates misery instead of peace. He looked at both young people. Obinna Nwanko, Ada Okafo, your honesty has been heard. He lifted his staff and struck the ground once. The marriage agreement between your families is hereby cancelled. Gasps filled the air. But something unexpected happened next. Obinna turned toward Ada. And for the first time since they were children, they both smiled. Not as promised husband and wife, but as two people who had chosen truth. Later that evening, the village slowly returned to normal. The sun set behind the palm trees, and something new had quietly been born in village. A tradition had changed, because two young people had the courage to say something simple, but powerful. Love cannot be forced. And sometimes, the bravest thing a person can do is let someone go.